game. Going back to Tampa. I'm sorry to
Okay,
jump.
that's fine.
Before the 2-point conversion, something was apparently shown on the big screen.
Yeah, it was the time that they didn't get the ball snapped. You talking about the Rodgers?
Yeah, what's he talking about?
So they didn't get the ball snapped off on time on the tying touchdown.
Okay.
And Rodgers saw it on the big screen and then alerted the officials about it. And so on the extra point where Brady audibled and they went to Fournette up the middle, he would have walked in. That's why the referees called it the second time, because Rodgers made it aware. So in the post game, when he was talking when he was being interviewed by whoever's broadcasting the game, he said, "Well, sometimes they probably should put those things on the scoreboard." That's the way I read it.
And then Todd Bowles was like, "We're going to look into that and see
Yeah.
who's responsible for that or whatever."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I believe that's that one.
Oh man, sunshine on a cloudy day.
Just personality plus every time I come in here. Pure joy.
Did you even get a glance?
No. Come on.
See, that's joy right there.
That's joy. That's
Larry
what that
Jackson.
looks like. Titans 24, Raiders 22. 0-3 Raiders. Like 4% of the teams that go 0-3 make the playoffs. It's almost impossible.
0-3. They all of a sudden can't get the ball to Devontae Adams.
How about a sit down? McDaniels and ownership.
Already?
Mark Davis, sit down. Yep. 3 games in. Mark's got money now. He can fire him.
Rich Bisaccia, was the guy still around? Bring him back. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, huge loss for them, which is just wild. This is crazy, though. Devontae Adams only, I think, only had 35 yards. He's caught a touchdown pass from Derek Carr in 12 straight games as college and NFL teammates dating back to 2013 at Fresno State. So he's caught a touchdown all 3 weeks. But after his big yards week 1, he's got nothing. And then Derrick Henry, he looked good running the ball again. Over 100 yards on that one, I think.
I still don't think the Titans are anything. I think the
I think
Raiders
they're garbage. Give me Malik Willis. I'm bored watching.
Raiders are in a bad spot.
Because I see Robert Woods, though. Robert Woods looked pretty good in that game.
Vikings 28. Oh, man. Lions 24. Can't win a close game. Lions are incapable.
No, they can't. Austin Seibert missing field goals. They had a couple chances at the end. 4-minute offense, 2-minute offense to end the game. Could not.
Yep.
And then Kirk Cousins delivers it late. The big touchdown as he gets it to KJ Osborne. I'll tell you what, though. Justin Jefferson, what is going on? 14 yards on 3 catches. Career low. By the way, if he had 20 yards, it win the game. No big deal. Career low.
Jeff Okudah locked him down. They drafted Okudah number 3 overall to do this, and he balled out.
Yeah, they got him, and now on the touchdown, they were triple covering him, and that's why Osborne was open, and they got the win. But, yeah, you'd like to see a little more from Justin Jefferson. And the guy
I like that Lions team. I just think it sucks that they can't win a close game.
Get Jameson Williams
so many
back.
opportunities to win.
Let's go.
Both in week 1 and this week. They had opportunities. I hate to see it.
They're saying the stream is down, by the way. I don't know if that's true. It's back up now. Okay.
Bengals 27, Jets 12.
Why can't we have anything?
I don't know.
1 hour. 2 hours. That's all we need. Bengals, Jets. Nice to see the Bengals. We've talked already about that ridiculous call right there on T. Higgins. Jamar Chase.
This is your sense of urgency game, though.
Oh, they had it.
They weren't going to drop to 0-3.
Yep. It's weird. It feels like teams have found whatever it is, Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, Jamar Chase, Cooper Kupp last week, being able to take away one guy, but you can't take away everybody. And so Tyler Boyd in this game made them pay. They haven't really been able to run the ball, and their defense played better in this one. Joe Flacco looked like Joe Flacco again in this one.
Mm-hmm.
It's ironic. He's been terrible at home, and he was good here. Maybe it's because our stadium's a stadium he had some good memories in, but that stunk to watch him actually be able to deliver in that game because he stinks.
Do you know, without looking, the Joe Mixon yards per attempt?
In the game?
Per
or for
game,
the season?
For the season.
I'm going to say it's something like 2.3.
Pretty close. 2.8 yards.
I knew it was under
a
3.
Carry.
Yeah, they can't
for
run.
Mixon. They cannot run it. One of the big things they're talking about down there is that Burrow had the appendectomy. They haven't had a whole lot of time to get better. They don't know how to adjust up on people's adjustments. They're working it out on the fly. But the real red flag down there is they cannot run the ball.
And coach, you've been, and it feels for a guy who just went to the AFC Championship game, won it, and then goes to the Super Bowl. That I'm guessing from what you're hearing down there is that there isn't a whole lot of confidence in the head coach's ability to actually be a coach. They just have a lot of really good talent.
It's a hell of a problem that they could have, because it's possible that they have so much talent that they elevate a coach who probably shouldn't be elevated.
Gotcha.
So that's the tricky part there. And an inability to run is just inexcusable based on the talent and the threats that they have around this roster. All right, Rumpke Waste Recycling, family-owned and operated. Whether you join them as a customer or as an employee, you'll become part of the family. Visit rumpke.com to learn more. We'll take one last look back at the Steelers game from Thursday night. That Friday was pure joy, but there's a lot that we want to get into on that. We'll get into that coming up next. Listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. The Bath Authority gives you that bathroom of your dreams. You transform your current bathroom into a custom bath with that spa-like experience. Let the Bath Authority make it a reality for you at a fraction of the cost of the competitors. The Bath Authority is Cleveland's premier bath and shower remodeler with expert factory-trained installers. Give them a call now. You get $500 off your next custom bath or shower remodel. That number is 216-220-8339 or go to thebathauthority.com. It's where affordability meets quality. Largest selection of bath projects in the area. They're all made in the United States. If you need to change your bathroom from outdated to outstanding, this is where they come in. Acrylic tubs that insulate and keep that heat in, tub to shower conversions, superior products with expert installers at the Bath Authority. Steelers game, how long ago does that feel like to you?
A year.
7 months?
Yeah. Like, it's hard to believe it hasn't been a week.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah, it was a long time, and it was – I was thinking about this as you watch the AFC play over the weekend, and you say to yourself, there wasn't – we talked about this a little bit at the top. Maybe the separation at the top of this league that we thought was there, maybe it's not. There's always been a league of parity. Injuries are the equalizer for all. But if you think about where you are through 3 weeks, 2-1, yeah.
Yeah, and a chance to get to 3-1, which is what we said all along. That's what you want.
That's your number.
That's your number. Yep, exactly. That's it. Let's go. We're right there. It's right there for us, and you wanted to not lose the one to the Steelers, and you did not do that. You beat the Steelers.
Yeah. Yeah, what do we have? Just Miami and Philly are the only undefeated teams left?
Yep. After
3 weeks.
Men lost. Yep.
That's unbelievable. Anything else jump out to you in that Steelers win on Thursday night that we did get a chance to discuss on Friday?
Yeah, just thought that it was, Jacoby Brissett is operating this offense at such a high level. We are running the football incredibly well. I thought Jack Conklin, to come back off the injury in your first game and have it look like you hadn't missed a beat was so impressive. It just looks like we're completely in command on offense. Amari Cooper is, in a league where they're taking away all these number one receivers, his last 2 weeks has been able to do it. And Carolina's strategy a lot of times was to tackle him, which got us a couple of flags. Our offense has been so good. Our defense, though, I've got real questions about. And it's not necessarily, I think our linebacking core has been excellent. I thought our secondary was much better as the game went on. And in the second half, you forced 4 straight punts, 3 straight 3-and-outs. We took control of the game at that point. But up front, I've got questions about this football team.
Yeah.
Without Jadeveon Clowney, Miles wasn't able to get to the quarterback, and sure, he had a very good game, but there was nobody else helping him. Taven Bryan has probably been the one who's helped him the most. He left that game with an injury.
Yeah.
So remember, Chase Winovich was brought over to kind of replace Tack McKinley as that third guy. You've got Alex Wright, who they still hope becomes something, but he hasn't been able to get near the quarterback yet. Now you're talking about facing an Atlanta Falcons football team that can run it, and we saw early in that game the ability of the Steelers to run the football against us. You're talking about dealing with them in a week in which you might not have 3 of your 4 starting offensive linemen.
Defensive linemen,
I'm sorry. We can't speculate yet on Taven Bryan or on Jadeveon Clowney. We know that neither were out for practice on Monday. And then now with Miles, you certainly can't count on him. I mean, I think, we should be very thankful that he's okay.
Yeah.
As a human, who cares about a football player at this point? But as a human, he's okay.
Yeah.
So how do we pressure? Because our coverages, the way that we play a lot of coverages, work very well. Now, we started to blitz more and play more man, but we might have to become a blitz-heavy, man-heavy team, which is good, but also opens yourself up to things, especially against a quarterback who can run like a Marcus Mariota. Those zones work because you're able to gamble and take chances because the guy's got to get the ball out. The ball's got to come out quickly. I just wonder, what does this defense look like in a world, and let's say we have to play this team without Miles or Clowney.
Mm-hmm.
What does that look like? Or Taven Bryan. What does that actually look like? Are we able to be competent enough up front to hold a team that's got a running back averaging 100 yards a game? It's got a couple of big play guys and a tight end and certainly in a wide receiver in Drake London, who's been very good, and a quarterback that is very mobile and can stress you. And his mobility, as we saw in the Manningcast, one of those runs, the running ability of Daniel Jones caused the defensive end to wait just a beat, and then that's how they're able to get through, and Saquon hits that big run for his touchdown. How do we deal with that? And so I thought as the game went on, we were fine, but I was still concerned by our lack of pressure generation organically, which I mean just rushing 4. We can adapt. We can become a blitz-heavy team, but that's something that is a big, big question for me going forward with this team.
Yeah, I think, by the time we get back here tomorrow, you'll have a little bit better idea of what you're going to be up against this weekend from our end of it.
Yes.
And I think you'll need that. You've got a couple of days to put something in. This is not certainly how you intended to be playing football in week 4 with I think what you could be up against this Sunday from a defensive standpoint. So Joe Woods is going to have to figure some stuff out. Going to have to manufacture some press. Ronnie was back.
Ronnie
in the
was
mix,
back at
so that's
practice,
big.
which was good.
If you're planning on that, on what that game plan could be, you're right. It's going to be more man, more blitz. You have to. You're going to have to create pressure from places.
So one thing, the Falcons, they have not done a good job against running backs and running teams. Nobody's really run the ball a lot against them. We will. They're giving up 4.5 yards carry. Did you see this stat?
Give it to me.
And I know this because I've lost every single week on it. The Browns running backs are averaging 37 and a half touches a game. Okay. The Carolina Panthers offense is averaging, I think, 35, something like this. Carolina offense is averaging, was it 35 plays a game? That doesn't make any sense.
No, that wouldn't seem.
Their running backs and receivers or something are averaging like 35 touches a game combined.
Yeah. And those two are.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is ludicrous.
I felt like at one point you were almost mocking me when I set the first over-under at 35.5.
It was a
They've gone over every week.
It feels unsustainable, but I guess it is.
Well, it is because of the way that Coach is doling out the carries, the way he's going heavy Nick in the first, then he comes back with heavy Kareem in the second.
Yep.
Then in the mix, you're bouncing in the pass with Jacoby, who's throwing it at such a high level, and then you have a lead. I mean, we've had a lead in every game, in the fourth. We just blew the one to the Jets, but now you're salting away a win. You were fine in the game against Pittsburgh.
We had 11 at the half.
Right. It was nothing. You're like, you safe.
Safe.
Now.
Finally.
Safe.
Yeah.
But then you pour it on, and that's the way that it goes. What will be your dining of choice Saturday night in Atlanta?
I don't know. I just talked to Danny, my cousin Danny.
Cousin Danny's down there?
He's down there, and it was his birthday, so happy birthday to Danny and Krista, both the progeny of Zago, 24 years apart, same birthday.
Going to need to know more on that. God bless. Look forward to.
So we will.
Zago, God bless.
So we're going out with Danny on Saturday night, which I'm very excited about.
So this is
He'll
your
pick
old
somewhere.
haunt.
Yeah, he'll pick something.
Is there a place that like you loved when you went to school there that's still around, that's still an establishment of record that you would enjoy a meal at?
My guess is probably like Chops or the Lobster Bar. Chops will probably still be around, like one of the old traditional steakhouses. But there's such good food in Atlanta.
There is.
And Danny is. We see the world through the same food lens. So if he says, no, I want you to try this, I'm in.
You're in. That's a win.
No question.
This is a sneaky good Browns road trip.
Atlanta's great.
Direct flight, great town. This is the one where you could have, I want to say one of the SEC teams is at home this week, and you could go to that game on a Saturday.
Yeah, like going on Friday.
Going
enjoy
on Friday.
Atlanta. It's a great city.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
I've really thoroughly enjoyed my time in Atlanta.
Oh.
Rumpke Waste and Recycling, family owned and operated. Whether you join them as a customer or employee, you'll become part of the family. Visit rumpke.com to learn more. I see Poisel right in there as we'll do a little better or worse. Coming up next, you'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. All right, welcome back into Cleveland Browns Daily, brought to you by Bally Bet, coming soon to Ohio. Time for a little higher or lower, presented by Keep It Fun Ohio from the Ohio Lottery, who remind you to set time and spending limits when gambling. Poisel back in studio with us, NFL.com Power Rankings. Gentlemen, I will be asking you a question about a team. You will tell me if this team is better or worse.
I want your opinions, too.
Love
man.
it. Yes, we need the Bo opinions as well.
Yeah.
You got good opinions, Bo.
Yeah.
Well, I get paid for the opinions all day long.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Even
Literally.
at the house, there's opinions on many things, Poisel.
I'm sure.
All right, let's start with this. Your Cleveland Browns up 5 spots, number 17 in the NFL Power Rankings from a Dan Hanzus. That's my best Gibby. On that one, Zagura.
That was good.
The Browns, 17.
Better. We are better than that, and I feel comfortable saying we would beat the Lions. I think we would beat the Denver Broncos. I think we would beat the Tennessee Titans. Right now, I think we beat the 49ers. So, yeah, I think we're better than that.
Yeah, I'm slapping the better tag on this, too. I mean, I would rank them about 4 or 5 slots higher than that. I thought Jacoby has been one of the biggest surprises at the quarterback position in the league this year, and he's the reason why they're 2-1 right now and really should be 3-0, obviously. I mean, I would rank them way higher than 17th. I think all the teams you mentioned, Nathan, that's exactly what I was going to say. I mean, you can take on the Lions. They can beat the Chargers, Broncos, Cowboys, Titans. I think they can play all of them right now. The defense turned a corner in the fourth quarter last week, too. They got to keep that going. But, yeah, I'd put them higher.
Same. Better.
Higher or lower?
I would.
For us?
No, sad.
Sad.
I think we are. I think we are better. I think we're better than. I think we should be 11. And it's interesting, like the way Jacoby Brissett is playing. Now we've got a lot of our own roster issues heading into this week, with injuries and so forth. But the way Brissett is playing, I mean, and Herbert's beat up big time.
Big time.
So he's not the same.
And a huge question at left tackle there now.
Yeah, I think we should be 11 based on what we've seen through the first 3 weeks in this thing. We should be right outside of the top 10, sitting there at number 11. Next.
Higher or lower?
The Buffalo Bills, according to Dan Hanzus, come in number 2. Poisel, are they better or worse than the second best team in the NFL?
Yeah, I'm going to say this is actually just right for the Bills. I think the loss was more of a statement that the Dolphins are a seriously good team than anything else, and they should be taken seriously. The thing I wonder with the Bills, and this is why I think they could slip in the future, is that, they're just relying so much on Josh Allen throwing the football. And, is that the defenses that are great in this league that they're going to end up playing? How are they going to prepare for that? And is that going to limit what their true offense can do? And, it's Singletary and Moss. Are they going to get the ball more? We were just talking. Is James Cook going to get the ball more? It feels like that might be, something that they need to do to kind of make sure they don't take losses like that.
At 100%, they're number 1.
Uh-huh.
They are not 100%.
No.
Their secondary is not at 100%. So there are
Devastated.
teams that are going to be able to exploit that to their benefit going forward. And so this feels, they just lost to the Miami Dolphins, so they can't be number 2.
If you are going to rank teams, the games have to matter.
Right.
They just played. Miami won.
Yep.
Miami has to be ranked ahead of them.
For now.
Therefore, for now, they are
Yep.
better.
Yep.
It doesn't mean that Buffalo isn't going to be better in January.
Right.
But
But
that's
now.
not when we're doing it. We're
No.
doing it in September.
We're doing it right
so
now.
they are better than the Bills. So Miami should be ranked second on this list. And you could argue Miami should be ranked first. They beat the Patriots, they beat the Ravens, they beat the Bills. That's better than what Philly's done.
I know, but Philly just
I
passes
agree.
the eye test.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
based on resume,
Sure.
you could make a very strong argument
Yeah.
that the Dolphins are the best team in the NFL.
Yeah.
Next,
Higher or lower?
the Green Bay Packers are number 4. As we mentioned, the Dolphins are number 3, which brings us to number 5. The Kansas City Chiefs, are they better or worse than the 5th best team in the NFL? Sakura.
I think that's probably just about right now, although I would say that I will make them better because I think they are better than the Packers. I don't think the Packers are
I agree.
scary. They got to get Harrison Butker back. The fill-in kicker missed a field goal and an extra point in that one. He makes those. They win the game.
Kelsey blew it
Kelsey
at
dropped
the
a
end.
touchdown. They blew
Which
a
he
few
never
things.
does.
No,
Yeah, they really should have won.
they should have won. They are better than that. They are a very complete team, but they have, they've struggled a little bit in the early going, but they're better. 4.
Poisel.
I'm going to say I think that they're lower. And the reason why is that I don't think they've done a ton with
Does that mean a lower number or that they're worse?
worse. I'm
Worse.
sorry.
Yeah.
Still
'Cause
got
I
to
didn't
give it
know.
in
I
mind.
didn't, I didn't
Yeah.
know what that
I didn't know what that
I'm
meant.
going to say
lower.
worse.
Are they like 5, which is a lower number, or 3, which is a lower number than that?
It's
Or are they worse?
Or they
It's
worse.
worse.
Self-explanatory,
It's
yeah.
worse.
Yeah.
It's worse. And I think they need to do more with the receivers they have. I mean, it's still Pat Mahomes at quarterback. I think they'll be just fine. But, I mean, I would rank them lower. Just a loss to the Colts.
Who would-
is just tough.
Wait, you would do
Who do you put Who do you
Who
put
do you think
above
is
them?
better than
Yeah,
them?
who's better than them?
I think the Ravens are better than them. I think the Buccaneers are better than them. And that's it. I don't think the Rams, who are hanging in there at 6, are better than them.
See, here's the thing.
I don't think the Bucks are better than them.
No, I don't think the Ravens are better than them either, which we'll get
We'll
to
get
in
to
a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that you could move them up one. I do think they're better than Green Bay right now, but I also think that for Kansas City, they have got to find somebody that he trusts down the field.
Right.
Yep.
That's what I'm
Because
saying.
their entire operation has been built off of this notion that there is a cyborg at quarterback that can throw it anywhere from any location and any arm angle. And he's not doing that right now. So something's a little off there.
Right.
Their ceiling is still, I think, the highest of any team in the league
Yes.
other than Buffalo. But honestly,
I think they'll
guys,
figure-
I'm going to
yeah.
tell you something about Buffalo. Those injuries they have are catastrophic. Hyde's out for the
Significant.
year. He's done. Poyer, Jackson, Benford were all out. I mean, that's the whole secondary, man.
Yep.
Like,
Yes.
that's a lot
That's a lot.
to overcome.
And they barely lost to
Correct.
a team with Tyreek
Well, that's
Hill
why they have the
and
highest
Jalen
ceiling.
Waddle, no doubt.
They have the highest ceiling.
Real quick,
I think the Chiefs have the second highest ceiling in the NFL.
I think there was this notion that, and he clearly must not trust Marquez Valdez-Scantling, but they gave him $10 million.
Yeah.
And there was a notion he was going to come here and all of a sudden, he's 6'4", he can fly, going to be unleashed. It's not like he played with a schlub at quarterback before. His quarterback before obviously was Aaron Rodgers. His best year ever was 690 and 6 touchdowns, averaged 21 yards a catch that year. So he could do that. Here's what he averaged 4 years in Green Bay. First year, 15.3 a catch. Second year, 17.4 a catch. Third year, 20.9. Last year, 16.5. So far, he's averaging 10 yards a catch. He has 10 catches, and he's averaging 10 yards a catch.
Yeah.
He's got the highest receptions per game of his career, the lowest yards per catch of his career, lowest yards per game of his career. So take some shots with him. That's what you brought him here for. But Mahomes doesn't really throw it down the field.
No, he hasn't this year.
I think 4.2 yards per air attempt, something like that. He's not.
I mean, the fact that
pushing it.
Tyreek isn't there is obvious with that offense right now, I think.
Yeah, but you got guys who can do what Tyreek
just
did.
doesn't
He's not
trust
the
him.
same, but he's got to let it rip sometimes.
Fair. Yep.
I mean, McCole Hardman's averaging 10 yards.
And so is
He's
Mark.
a burner. You mentioned Valdez-Scantling.
Yeah, this is a
It's
guy who
like
averaged
they just-
17 yards for his
It's
career.
like they didn't even think about. I don't know. It's strange. They took the money from Tyreek, put it in a bunch of stuff, but none of it is being allowed to even do what it was brought in there to do.
No,
And I don't know if that's trust. There's something to that though with Bieniemy and Mahomes.
they're not.
Yeah.
Not on the same.
Not on the same page. Next,
Higher or lower?
number 6 is in the words of Gibby, Los Angeles Rams. The number 7 team, according to Dan Hansis, is Baltimore. The Ravens at number 7, Poisel. Are they better or worse than number 7?
I think they're better, and I think it's just because Lamar is doing things that no quarterback in the NFL has done right now. And I think that's making up for some of the problems that they've seen on defense. They still have some problems that they need to work out on the defensive side of the ball, but I mean, Lamar just, how do you stop him? There hasn't been a team that's been able to do it so far, and that's why I think they're going to be a team that can spring into the top 5 here very soon.
They are, like, I would take them right now over the Rams, so I'll say better. But this is a flawed team. They can't run the ball. They can't, play defense. They can't stop the run on the outside. They're struggling in the secondary, as we saw Tua throw for 6 touchdowns against them.
Yes.
But they have the singularly greatest player in the NFL playing for them right now at the most important position in Lamar. So he is overcoming a lot of that. If he gets dinged up at all,
Oh, yeah.
they
it's-
will be dreadful.
For sure.
But he is healthy. They are better than 7. But this is a team that feels very beatable, and it's what he's doing right now is without precedent. That can't last for forever.
No, and I think the number one concern, if you're them, other than
He's
I mean,
accounting for 82% of their offense.
yeah, I mean they got Dobbins back this week, but he was kind of a non-factor.
When he was the MVP, it was 62%. When he was the MVP of the league, it's
Yeah,
60, and he's
it's
at
too much.
82%. It's unsustainable.
No,
Okay.
completely. I do think they're better than where they are for this week, though.
Yes.
I think they're better than the Rams. I would probably have them. I'd probably have them 6.
Yeah, that's what I. Yeah,
Just one. No, yeah, somewhere right in
I
there.
put him at 6.
All right, next.
Higher or lower?
The Tennessee Titans.
They're
12.
way worse. They shouldn't even be in the top 20. They're bad.
Yeah, out of all the
This
teams,
is a joke.
out of all the teams I saw on this list, I was most stunned that the Titans were where they were. They're definitely lower than this. Narrow win over 0-3 Raiders doesn't really move the
It's
needle
done.
at all for
It's
me.
they're washed.
Washed. It's over.
It's just, yeah, it's not there for
I'll
me
keep
right
banging
I'm
that
going to be
drum.
honest with you guys. I think that 1 through 7, because I don't put Tampa Bay in the top 7. Not what I've seen.
Fine with
not
that.
with the injuries they've had. Not the way it looks with Brady. I don't. They had a lot in that game against Green Bay, and they were not good. That was an ugly game. They had the one drive at the end where they tied it or almost tied it, and then went for it. So I think the top 7 to me has separated. They all have flaws. None of them are unimpeachable.
Yep.
But then I think it gets really interesting. Like this next group is where I would have us. I'd have us in here with Tampa Bay, Minnesota, the Bengals. The Bengals' ceiling is higher based on
Sure,
what's currently
no doubt.
constructed. But the rest of these teams are hugely flawed. The 49ers, this Titans team at 12, the Cowboys at 13, Denver. My God, what have you seen from Denver?
Yeah.
To have them
Absolutely
14 on any list.
Yeah.
The Chargers at 15. I mean, that's just injuries, and they're you want to talk about injuries? I mean, this is catastrophic stuff. Although Keenan Allen could be coming back this week.
Yep.
Herbert's dealing with what he's dealing with. Bosa could miss time with the groin. He always misses time with the groin. Slater's done.
For the year.
And that's huge.
That's a massive loss.
Yeah. Bo, you said last week, I think with the spots like 12 through 21 that you could put them in the bag, shake them up. And I really
Yeah.
like that analogy. I think it implies this week, too. There's been no
I would
changes.
just extend it a little bit.
Yeah,
I think you could almost
exactly.
go
You
to
could
like
extend it,
8.
yeah.
Like, like, am I sure that we would? I don't know necessarily we'd lose to Tampa Bay right now. Like, I don't think that I look at them and go, oh boy, big bad
No,
Tampa
they
Bay.
They don't
They
feel
can't
scary
move
at
it.
all.
They did.
No,
Yeah,
they
I don't know.
They are
It
not
doesn't.
scary. But again, they haven't had Mike Williams and Chris Godwin or Mike
Well,
Evans,
all
Chris
of this
Godwin.
is framed by that, though,
Of
too,
course,
right?
for
It's
sure.
framed by where these injuries, these
Yeah.
teams. It felt like, my God, guys, it's September 27th, and we're talking about catastrophic injuries.
So when you guys go through this injuries, how much do the injuries factor into whether you're saying higher, lower, better, or worse?
I
right now?
judge
Alexis,
them
it's
on
for this
I
week.
judge them on what they are right now.
Right now.
Okay.
It's for this week.
I can't. I mean, like,
We do this every week, so it's
so
a
it's
weekly
every week.
ranking.
It's a weekly thing.
Okay.
It's a gentleman and a scholar right there,
Yeah.
Mr. Mike.
Anarella.
It's
Shout
just
out.
like at the top,
Yeah.
right? Philly and
Right.
Miami's 3, Philly's 1.
Okay. 'Cause-
Like, I picked the Chiefs and the Packers to be in the Super Bowl. You had the Chargers and the Bucks.
Chargers, Philly.
Chargers, Philly. So good job out of you. You look good right now.
Yeah, but
there's-
you
I've
also
seen
had Nick
nothing-
Sirianni as coach of the year.
No,
so
I
let's
was
not-
high on them. I had them winning the division.
Yeah, let's not.
But I have seen nothing to lead me off of Chiefs and Packers. I still feel
Yeah.
fine with that.
It's still September.
But at the same time, I can acknowledge that neither one look like how they're
A
going to
Super
look
Bowl
at the
team.
end of the year.
No.
Gibbe has Josh McDaniels as coach of the year. Not
That's
looking
tough.
Good, Gibbe.
Well,
Yeah,
McDaniel's an Ohioan. Gibby loyal. You know how that goes. Next,
Higher or lower?
we go all the way down to number 18, the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're up 10 spots. They shouldn't have been 28 to begin
No,
with.
we
I don't
said
know
that
what the
last
hell.
week.
We
It was
said that last
stupid.
week. Jacksonville up 10 spots to number 18. Poisel, higher or lower, the Jacksonville Jaguars, better or worse?
Way better. I think the Jags are the top team in the AFC South. At least that's what it's looked like after 3 weeks. I think Doug Peterson is unlocking Trevor Lawrence. He's obviously not at his full potential yet, but he has definitely made some major strides in getting there. And I mean, I know Herbert was out. I know Keenan Allen was out, but still, I mean, the fact that the Jags defense was able to hold the Chargers to 10 points is a big win and shows that this is a team that is heading in the right direction by a lot. And I think they're the best team in the AFC South.
I have no problem with any of that. I like them. I definitely think they can beat some teams that are listed above them right now. I'm in on the Jags. I think they're a fun football team. Like, come on. As much as we like, man, the Lions, man. Like, you take the Jags over them on a neutral field
Yeah.
right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For sure.
I'm in on the Jags. Better. I like that team. And I think that they could easily win that division. That's your playoff surprise team from our preseason predictions right there, Bo. And I think
Yeah.
that could be a prescient and good call by you.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a lot of weapons. They're actually using their talented players like James Robinson. Urban Meyer didn't want to. Wanted to draft another running back. Well, why would you need to? You already had one. Everything I'll give the Khan family credit for this. And it took, like, they had to be beat over the head to be realizing it. But, like, That was bad. And they had the guts to say, one and done, not even one and done.
10 games.
Kindly leave.
10 games.
Kindly leave. And by doing so, they maybe salvaged Trevor Lawrence. Because if he got another year in that situation, who knows if he comes out of it. But they didn't. You're out. We'll see you on down the road. And so good job out of them.
Does he have any
No.
remorse?
No.
Any
Hubris?
Any cognizance of what a disgrace he was as a head
No.
coach in the National Football League?
No.
So he thinks this wasn't his fault,
He's
like he
like
was
your boy.
wronged? Yeah, your boy.
He's like your boy.
Like your boy.
Next.
Higher or lower?
Finally, gentlemen, at number 21, the Vegas Raiders. 0-3 on the season. Segura.
I mean, on paper, better. In reality, they're 0-3 right now, and you can't like them to beat the Indianapolis Colts, who are ranked behind them. You can't like them to beat anybody right now at this point. The way that they're playing, they are dreadful. It's wild. So they're worse. I think that they will be in the future, though. Like, I think it's a buy low. Like, this is a stock at the bottom of at the floor of its market.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't know if I would necessarily rank them lower, and it's just because when I look at the teams that are below them, I mean, like you said, on paper, the Raiders are better, and I think they're capable of turning it around as early as next week. But, all three of their losses have been really close, and I know it doesn't really account for much. Close losses don't mean anything in the NFL, but I think this is a team that's going to turn it around sooner rather than later. They just have too many good guys on their team.
Their next two are Broncos in Vegas and at Kansas City.
That's tough.
They better beat those Broncos, no doubt.
Yeah, at Kansas City's not going to go their way. Yeah, I mean, it's funny. You look at them statistically, they're fine. I mean, Carr's off to a slow start, 60% passer, 6 touchdowns, 4 picks. They're getting fine out of Jacobs. It's fine. Nothing great. But, boy, Adams, jeez.
It doesn't surprise me that Adams is off to a slow start.
What, he had like 120 in the first week and then like 30 and
He's got
30?
189 yards in 3 games.
And he had 120 in the first game.
Correct. Yeah, he does have the 3 touchdowns. All right, good job at you, Poisel.
You got
Yeah.
it.
Very good.
Very
Elk and Elk, Serious Sawyer, Serious Injuries.
There's another new
Call
person. I don't know.
1-800-ELK Ohio for a free case review. Elk and Elk's a proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. So much more to come. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Browns fans, Kevin Stefanski Show remotes are back. Compliments of our friend at Bud Light. Join Z and Gerard. That's Thursday night, 7 to 8 at Slim and Chubby's on Prospect Road in Strongsville. Meet Browns kicker Cade York. Check out Thursday Night Football as guys get you ready for Sunday's game against the Falcons. You have that to look forward to, which is very, very nice. We alluded to this shortly. I'm enjoying Thrones.
Same.
Dragon Show. I enjoy it.
Same.
I just think that they rushed. What is the hurry? Like, I need for people to be eliminated, for me to have a give a damn level, I have to know them a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's I'm sure that there's a point to all of this, but it feels like they're missing the point a little bit with the way they handled the first 6 episodes.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
I still like it.
I love
it. It's great.
But you're saying it's like having a nice bite of a fillet.
One minute.
You're looking for like the whole fillet and all the sides, and that you're looking for the whole experience, and they're just giving you like, this is really good, but there's more there that
There's
we're not
more.
getting. Right, we're not.
Yeah, so I don't care as much about the fillet because I don't know the rest of it.
Yeah, you want the whole
That's it.
experience.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
where it is. I still enjoy it. I really
Sure.
prefer it at the end of a Sunday of football,
Of course, same.
especially when the game is
When
garbage.
the
I'm
game's
in.
dreadful.
I'll take it out. Good job to you today.
Same. Welcome
Good to
back.
be back. Next level coming up next. We're back tomorrow. Cleveland Browns Daily, 8:50
Go
ESPN
have a
Cleveland.
Peeber.